Campus America is an initiative of 24/7 Prayer USA, which is the ministry that began in England in 1999 by Pete Gregg and his church community, and has now sprung into many nations around the world. But Campus America is an initiative with a clear prophetic call that God gave Pete and his friend David Blackwell when they were in Redding, California, and basically they both had a dream the same night, and Pete had a dream and basically he just woke up and the words Campus America, call Campus America to pray. It's time to call Campus America to pray. We've started this thing called the Wilder Project, which is basically just an effort to mobilize travel teams, bands of friends, college students, missionaries, people from the local church that are just hearing the call to go mobile and to travel to college campuses. And the goal is that we would send out traveling teams, or that traveling teams would go, whether or not they're directly sent from us, to every four-year university over the next 2 years.
Melissa and I launched out of the Texas space about 2 months ago, and so far we've been through Colorado, Nevada, Oregon, California, Arizona,
Kansas City, and now we're in Madison, and then Chicago.
Yeah.
So, I think, like, for me, just being in YWAM, like, I was in YWAM for a couple of years, and then I went to college, and then I've been back in YWAM for a couple of years, and I think just, like, knowing that college campuses are so significant, you know, and, like, wondering, like, what is God doing, and how can YWAM be a part of it? I think, like, for Sarah and I, we were in Oregon, probably like a month ago. We spent 2 weeks in Oregon, near Oregon State University, and just we like stumbled our way into like a whole community of people, like students, people our parents' age, our grandparents' age, that have just been praying for years for Oregon State, and like have found each other like slowly but surely, and like are just doing incredible stuff on their campus already, but like had never heard of 24/7 USA, had never heard, you know, have barely heard of IHOP or YWAM or some of these things, and so they were just like already doing this thing, and we're like, oh, have you heard of this or this? And they're like, no, we have no idea. Like, we had no idea other campuses are praying. We have no idea. And so, like, I think that was a pretty impacting thing, is just like stumbling into something that God is clearly doing just by speaking to people. And so there's like groups of students that are like just going to their campus and seeing people healed and seeing people saved and just crazy stuff just because they love Jesus, you know.
I think such a value of YWAM that God's given us is just hearing God's voice, and so what we've been doing is a practical, fun, impactful way to go prayer walk a campus, hear God's voice for the campus, hear God's voice for individuals, and do something with it and change people's lives, you know.
Yeah, and there really is no handbook, I think, is one thing we you know have discovered along the way, that there's no handbook except Jesus. You know, there's no formula except Jesus. You know, we just we're in relationship with Him. You know, His Spirit's in us, and a term that we've used, I think, throughout this is social adventuring. You know, we're just going out and just social adventuring, and it's become just naturally supernatural in a sense of where, like, well, when you look at Luke 10, and Jesus sends out the 72, and basically His instructions are really simple, you know, but a couple of them are eat and drink what's put before you, very natural, and heal the sick. By the way, you know, it's just like, and so we're just going, and we just there's something profoundly natural about it, that we just go, and like Sarah said, just bring a guitar, you know, carry a football with you on the campus, just be yourself, go eat lunch, but along the way be intentional about seeing God's kingdom come, starting just intentional conversations with international students, or just whatever doors might open up for you, you know.
Prayer is that people will begin to do this like we have, and be ruined by it, and become addicted to letting Jesus out of them.
I guess that the call would continue to go forth and be heard, that you know, that we'd see laborers on college campuses, but not that necessarily, you know, that we have more staff joining some big ministry, but that even among those staff in those ministries, that they would be laborers that are in the field, that are swinging their sickles, and they're, you know, planting seeds of the gospel. And
like, I went to a Christian college, and just seeing like thousands of like untapped like potential in, you know, and just people our age that like we know we're like made to do something for the kingdom of God, but it's like I just feel like when I look at campuses, like Christian campuses or not, like there's just so much potential. And so I think just to see like people our age know like you can be a missionary on your campus, like you don't have to be a pastor or go to Bible school or join YWAM, but like, you know, just to see our generation like no, you can be a missionary here in your city and on your campus. And so I think that's a prayer. Earlier just about how like YWAM is already like in university towns, you know, or it's near a university or a college or even like a community college, or YWAM students have friends that are college students, you know, just I think just so many simple ways that going to the campus that's down the street or beginning to pray for your campuses and intercession times, you know, like it doesn't have to be this like formal thing necessarily, but just like I don't know, I think just recognizing like universities are a mission field, you know, and beginning to like tap into that in a more strategic way or not, you know, and like that's a choice that either like each base or like each school or each like intercession leader even can say like let's begin to pray for universities on Mondays, or you know let's go prayer walk at the university once a week or something. So just like simple ways, but like are we going to see this as a mission field or not, you know, but then like base to base or whatever, it can look so different and so simple. Or maybe like it'll change an entire base and they'll shift to focus, you know. But so